This is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and analysis for the week ending November 6, 2011. And as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're going to take a look at this week has to do with MechWarrior Online. And the news is that on October 31st, 2011, Infinity Game Publishing officially announced a brand new free-to-play MMO, and that is MechWarrior Online. Now, the game is the first officially licensed free-to-play game in the long-standing and well-known MechWarrior franchise. The game is set to release in the second half of 2012, so it's still a whiles away. Now, the trailer you're seeing in the background is actually about 2 years old, and if it's even remotely accurate, the game will definitely feature top-tier graphics. One more thing worth mentioning, guys, MechWarrior Online is being developed by a Western studio, so it's once again showing that Western companies are starting to embrace free-to-play. And from what I'm seeing, the game does look awesome, but again, it's still a bit far away. The release date is set for 2012, well, second half of 2012. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 2nd, 2011, and the news is that CosmicBreak, the 3D third-person sci-fi themed MMO third-person shooting game by Cyberstep, is now available through EG as well. So you can launch the game through the EG reactor. Now, I'm pretty sure the games still share the same server. This is just a way for CosmicBreak to kind of expand its player base. So there you have it. You can launch the game through the EG reactor now if you want to. Up next, guys, November 1st, 2011 is a bit of sad news from LEGO Universe Online, and the news is that LEGO Universe Online is coming to an end. Yes, guys, the game is shutting down officially on January 31st, 2012. Now, this really shouldn't come as a big surprise because the game itself was never that popular, and it seemed to be a big budget title. I mean, they licensed the game from LEGO, which is a major brand, and even though the game went free to play, the game still couldn't build a big enough audience for the game to be worth it for the game publisher. And again, guys, the game is shutting down officially on January 31st, 2012. Kind of sucks that the game is shutting down though, because the LEGO games for the console, like the LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Indiana Jones, those style games have done really well, but apparently LEGO Universe Online as an MMO could not do well. The next bit of news, guys, actually comes on October 29th, something I forgot to mention last week, and the news is that Merchant of Venice arrives in Mabinogi. Now, the Merchant of Venice is the latest update in the Shakespearean collection of updates in Mabinogi, and the storyline for this update follows the tale of Bassanio and Portia, two characters from the story. Now, gameplay-wise, the update adds a new commerce system to the game and reintroduces theater missions. Now, for the record, the Merchant of Venice is the third in a series of Shakespearean tales launching in Mabinogi. Mabinogi is quite an old MMORPG now, but Nexon has been on the ball with keeping the game up to date. Up next, guys, on November 1st, 2011, Wargaming.net announces the latest update to World of Tanks called Update 7. The biggest update in this upcoming update, if that makes sense, is the game's camouflage system, letting players place tank skins on their actual vehicles to help them blend into each battlefield, granting improved invisibility. Clan emblems will also be able to be placed on vehicles, and Clan Wars will introduce a new Fog of War system to prevent teams from seeing each other's rosters. Also included in the update are 2 maps and the Su-85 tank. And in case you haven't heard of World of Tanks, it's a realistic tank-based MMO, and it's surprisingly popular. It's actually by far the most popular tank-based MMO out there, and it's realistic. Next up, guys, on November 2nd, 2011, Perfect World launches the Trials update. The Trials update for the game adds a lot of new content for players to enjoy. Most notably, the 9 faction trials that are added to the game, where up to 100 players can band together to take on unique bosses and encounters. With a total of 9 of these faction trials, new areas, and new quests in the game, this is a pretty big update to Perfect World. And again, guys, this update actually already launched on November 2nd, so it's already available in-game. Up next, guys, November 2nd, 2011, Ala Player released an update for Avalon Heroes, which adds 2 new heroes to the game, Marshall Crew and Caradin, both of which are tank heroes. Also part of the update is a 6th chapter in the game's scenario mode, giving players access to the continuation of the story for both sides. And if you haven't heard of Avalon Heroes, guys, it's a MOBA-style game by Ala Player that competes with games like Heroes of New Earth and League of Legends. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 4th, 2011, and I am excited about this bit of news, and the news is that Tribes Ascend enters closed beta on November 4th. The game is officially in closed beta, and with the launch of the game's closed beta, there will be no more character wipes between closed beta and release. Tribes Ascend will offer jetpacks and multiplayer combat in large arenas and huge maps, which sounds fun in my book. And for those that didn't know, the game is by Hi-Res Studios, the same company behind Global Agenda. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 3rd, 2011, and is a small update for Project Blackout. The news is that Project Blackout released a new map called Sandstorm. The new map features multiple passages that allow teams to sneak behind each other into their spawn points for some chaotic fun. The map is designed for 5-man teams, and to celebrate the map's launch, players get 30% extra experience until Wednesday, November 16th. Also, a new clan web ranking system is also scheduled to release later this month. And if you couldn't tell, guys, the video in the background is just a fly-through of the map so you can see what it kind of looks like. The next and last bit of news, guys, comes on November 4th, 2011, and involves Ace Online. The popular 3D space shooter unveils its latest patch, Infinity Field 3, on November 4th. The update adds 4 new bosses to the game, as well as new gear available to players. To celebrate the launch of the latest expansion pack to the game, all players get bonus experience for 2 weeks. And if you didn't know, guys, the game is published by Super Games. And the video playing in the background is actually quite an old trailer for the game. They haven't released a new trailer for Ace Online in quite a while. Well, guys, that's it for MMO news, but as for games coming soon, we have nothing. But as for games recently launched, we have 2 games to look at, one being DC Universe Online, which officially went free to play on November 2nd, 2011. As mentioned in my first look video for DC Universe Online, the game features 3 levels of paying content: those who subscribe, those who spend at least $5 in the store, and those free users who spend nothing. Even without paying, you have access to all of the game's content with only a few annoying restrictions. DC Universe Online is yet another pay-to-play game gone free-to-play. And since going free-to-play, the game's servers have been quite packed, which is good. But we'll have to wait till Sony release some numbers on the game to see if it's successful as a free-to-play title or not. But as you can probably tell by the video playing in the background, the game definitely has pretty high production value, which looks cool. The second game that launched this week, guys, is Brawl Busters from Rock Paper Productions, and the game went into open beta on November 3rd, 2011. I was about to say 4th, but nope, November 3rd. The game is published by the same guys behind Microvaults, and since going into open beta, the game launched 2 new game modes, Rumble Factory and Free For All. Also, new weapons and outfits are now available in the game store. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending November 6, 2011. But keep in mind, guys, today is daylight savings time. Gotta go back in time 1 hour, so make sure you do that. I'm actually not even sure why we have daylight savings time. It's like voodoo to me. But anyway, guys, if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. And if you want to discuss anything in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway, guys, this is Omer signing off. And yes, guys, I clearly picked the Lolly character in my Brawl Busters video for tactical reasons. She clearly has a smaller hitbox. That's why I always pick the Lolly character.